Good evening and welcome everyone to Travel 10 and The Gift. Tonight's our first weekly, because it's going to be a weekly, Travel 10 webinar. And the purpose of this webinar is to inform, educate, and most definitely excite all of our existing TLAs and those that are becoming interested in becoming a TLA. Tonight, what we're going to do is kind of the same format we're going to be using going forward. We're going to cover three main topics: news and updates, training, and then finally the third topic is about creating wealth. I think that's something that's of interest to all of us. So let's begin. News and updates to get started. First, everything on the website is now in Spanish and English, with the exception, and the only thing that's the exception on the Spanish side is the back office. That's being worked on. That will be up in the next few days. Next thing I want to cover is the genealogy. Some people said, oh, I can't see myself in the genealogy. Well, you're there. The only people that are not seeing themselves in the genealogy, the few this is happening to, is because we're still experiencing an issue with their payment. So you will not appear in the genealogy, just so you know, so you don't have to worry, you're there. But the moment the payment issue is resolved, then you will actually pop back into the genealogy with your organization and everything intact. So it's very important that if you don't see yourself in there and that you haven't taken care of that, to take care of it here in the next few days, okay? So that'll solve our problem there. And again, this is just part of the pre-registration and getting this thing launched. And we know going forward it's going to be a lot easier for everybody. All right, but that's not a big thing. All right, here's kind of good stuff. We're going to have in place next week, I don't know exactly what day it's going to fall in, but a new support platform that's also going to be a knowledge base. In other words, what it will do is, as we get people submitting support tickets on whatever issues they are, it'll start building that knowledge base so that within a very short period of time, almost any question you can think of, there'll be answers there for you. And we believe with the simplicity of what we've got here at Travel 10, this is going to be a business that's going to be about just building and not worrying about anything else. And we feel very, very comfortable that everything is in place to allow this thing to just grow at exponential levels. And from what I've seen from a few of you so far, that could be happening shortly. Next thing I want to cover is the HyperWallet. HyperWallet will not go into effect until January 1st, until the first of this next month, before we actually do the commissions. So don't worry about it. If you're not seeing it there, we'll send you out an email and let you know that, okay, HyperWallet's ready. Go ahead and get it set up. And the beauty of this, folks, for all of you, is that this is going to allow you to get your money instantly. In other words, you're not going to be waiting. When the moment we cut the commission runs, you're going to have your money in your bank account. So it's really going to be nice. Oh, and we got a little good news too. We were able to go back to HyperWallet and renegotiate pricing. So now the monthly ongoing, instead of being $2.50, is only $1.95. That's pretty good when you consider all the benefits that you get by having this HyperWallet. Having your funds instantly, be able to move money back and forth, to be able to use it as a debit credit card. Obviously, it's going to have them when you actually get your card in the mail. It's going to have Travel 10 on there, which is a really nice marketing tool too when you're showing the card or talking to somebody. So that's all happening very quickly. My guess is the emails will go out somewhere around the first of the month. Okay, so that's really all the news and updates we got, that's kind of good. So let's get into the heart of the program tonight. And it's two things that I want to do, and that's the training, and the third part is how to create wealth. In the coming weeks, because we're brand new, we're just launching. One of the things I want to add to the creating wealth segment is I want to create a lot of testimonials. I want to have people on the call every week talking about what they're doing, to build their business and kind of and talking about using the product and the results they're getting, and just because I think this is going to be a business where the testimonials are going to be in the tens of thousands very, very quickly, because again, looking at how this thing is starting to grow already. So let's first talk about a little bit of training. So what I'm going to do is do a little screen share here, and I want to go over some things that I didn't discuss. And every week I'm going to be talking about other things in the areas of training. So the beauty of this is, we're going to be putting all this up in your back office. So you'll be able to go in, and we're going to have it very nicely organized for you. So you'll know that, for example, if you want to see a segment on training on ranks and awards like I'm going to be doing tonight, or income expectations. You'll be able to know exactly where it's at and be able to go use it. So for new people who are joining, as we start to build this library of information, they'll be able to go in and get this stuff on a continuing basis, which again makes it easier for all of you to grow your business when you can say, hey, it's all there for you. You got a question? There's your answer. So let's get started. A little screen share here. Just a moment. Almost there. Okay. All right. First thing I'm going to talk about is retail credits. This is something I don't think I've even brought up or mentioned. It's really nice. Everybody's going to really enjoy this. It's just another way that you're going to get paid. And the way the retail credits work are this. Now remember, we've got a business that is a very, very low cost to be involved in from the standpoint of the product or the business. It's really, really a low cost, which is exciting because of the amount of money that's going to be generated from such a business that's so easy and so easy to get involved in and so affordable for everybody. But the way the retail credits works is pretty simple. Once you have 10 customers, and again, this is going to happen automatically. You don't even have to look for your customers because remember, everything's done for you. All you have to do is share the gift, right? You share the gift, somebody goes and watches the video, and then they're going to make a decision. And their decision is going to be one of three things. They're either going to become a TLA, they're going to become a customer, or they're going to take the $1,000 gift card. Whichever way they choose, again, you win. You don't care. You're making money. But if they choose the customer side, we're seeing that already happen, and here's what happens. Once you have 10 customers, and this will happen for all of you, if you stay busy with this and you're sharing the gift, it'll happen very quickly. That means you've got 10 retail credits. 10 retail credits means your subscription for yourself is now free. Secondly, once you get 20 customers, that's 20 retail credits, your subscription and your business is free. So you know the $20 you're paying every month, you're not paying anymore. So once you have 20 or more customers, your business and your subscription is 100% free. And it gets better because every time you have another group of 10 customers or more, like when you hit 30 customers, that gives you another 10 retail credits. If you get to 40 retail credits, then you've got another $10 or another $20 on top of your business being free and your product being free that you've got that you can use to purchase anything that we have here at Travel 10, whether it be, for example, we're planning a major seminar somewhere and you want to use your retail credits to reduce the cost of that trip, or you need to buy product, or you need to purchase marketing tools, or whatever it is that you want, you'll be able to use those credits. So this is going to be great. And this is just something you're just going to acquire as this business goes, because again, the more you share the gift, the more customers you're going to have, the more people you're going to have using the card. But obviously the most exciting part is the more TLAs you're going to have involved with the business with you. All right. After retail credits, I want to talk just a little bit more in detail about the ranks and awards, because I didn't go into too much about it our first week, but I want to make sure everybody understands just how powerful this is going to be for you. It starts, if you can see up here, with a diamond. Now, when you get to the diamond, which is our first one, it's basically just a recognition pin. It lets you know that, hey, you've accomplished something that's great. You're now a diamond, which obviously we're going to create these pins for everybody. And I think everybody, I love to be recognized. Everybody does. And then it grows from, the next one is canary, and then it goes to pink, and then blue, and red. Now, what's interesting about this is that every time you hit one of these, you're going to be able to increase your income in every one of your 10 generations. But more importantly, you're going to have income in every generation after 10 to infinity. So let's take a look at that. But before I do, I just want to mention, before I jump ahead here, the first 100 again. I talked about that a little bit last week. This is pretty cool. This is going to be the first 100 red diamonds. The first 100 people that become red diamonds in Travel 10 will have 1% of the company's sales. Think about it, 1% of all the customer commissions and sales set aside every month for life to be paid to those 100 people. Nobody else. Doesn't matter if we have, like I said, 10,000 red diamonds. It's only the first 100. So that's going to be a kind of unique honor, I think, being one of the first 100. I don't know who it's going to be. It's going to be fun as we get there. As we have the first one, we'll announce it. The second one, third one, we'll start announcing it. So, guys, these are two great ways to make money, the ranks and awards and the first 100. And I want to show you a little bit more about how this ranks and awards actually works for you, okay? So everybody understands it. Now look at this graph you see over here. This is showing you what would happen, obviously, if you were out and you put in 10 TLAs, right? And of course, everything's based on customers, so it's TLA, and your customers. And remember, these illustrations are based on you having only one customer. Most people, because of the way this program works, because of the number of customers, because remember, you're sharing the gift, they're going to choose one of three things. Most people are going to have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 customers and more. Well, if that happens, obviously, this is all based on $1, saying that every TLA you have and all their customers only equals $1. Well, it could be $2, $3, $4, $5 on every one of these individual TLA/customers. So it doesn't matter. You can see then the numbers will be much bigger. But what I want you to see is that, look, this is based on 10 who only get 3 after that. Not 10 who get 10, because that would mean you'd have 100 on your second generation. It's 10 who get 3, right? So that's 30. And then those 30 get 3, that's 90. And it's just doing the same thing through 10 generations. Shows you the number of TLA/customers you would have. It shows what you'd be earning on those. And so that gives you a total amount. Not that, on just you getting 10 and no one else ever getting more than 3. Remember, nobody else ever gets more than 3. That means nobody can get 4 or 5 or 10 or 20. Everybody can only get 3. And with this business being as simple and as viral as I think it's going to be, that's almost laughable. But look what happens when you add the ranks and awards in. If you are a red diamond, this is just an example of red diamonds, instead of being paid, you notice the percentage of payout per generation is 10% on the left-hand side. Look what it is on the right-hand side. If you become a red diamond, there's no other red diamonds in your line, which a lot of times it won't be, you're going to get 14% through all those first 10 generations. But it doesn't stop there. After your 10th generation, you get 4% to infinity. That means it never stops. I don't care if you're on generation 172 or 1062 or 1. It doesn't matter. If there's no other red diamonds in your line, you're still getting the 4%. Now think about that. Look at the numbers and what the difference is. And this is based on, again, the person being red diamond and only showing 4 extra generations. Now remember, it goes to infinity. It doesn't stop at 14. It goes on and on and on and on. But look what happens just at 14 generations. Look at the difference in dollars and cents. Now, guys, remember, when I show these graphs and such, I can't make income claims. I'm just showing this for illustration purposes. This is not guaranteeing anybody is going to do this. I mean, people could do this. They could do more. But this is just showing what would happen if you had 10 people, then who got 3, and it duplicated down. And as you got past that 10th generation, the kind of income you would start to make on generation 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and going on. Of course, we stopped at 14. So this is what you get with the ranks and awards. Pretty cool, actually. And the next thing I want to do for everybody tonight, a training, is I want to share with you what I call the income expectation chart. This is what you should really be looking at to decide what you're going to do to be successful here, at Travel 10 and using the gift. So look at how this works. And again, I think it gives you kind of a good story, too, of what to expect. The first 2 columns talk about the number of generations you're getting paid on, right? You get 10 generations deep. Forget the ranks and awards now. I'll make believe that doesn't exist for you. So it's just the 10 generations. And I put a time frame in here. The reason I did that is I want everyone to kind of realize how long is it going to take for me to actually start reaping the benefits, of each generation. Because it doesn't happen overnight. And that's the most amazing thing about this, is that if people can look at this, and this is why I think I've been blessed with so much success in my life. I kind of get numbers. I love numbers. And I understand that numbers don't lie. But they have to have time to grow. So if you're looking at, for example, let's take the first column here. And let's say that you put in, for example, here, you got 3 TLAs that you put in, right? And it took you 2 months to get them. Because that's what I'm saying. Your first 2 months is to get your first generation, which are the people you personally enroll, right? So this example is going to be based on if you only got 3. What if you got 10, like we were talking about all the time, which I think everybody can do? Or maybe you're working a little hard and you went out and got 30. Now, what's scary is we're only 2 weeks old, and this is a fact. We've actually got some people that have got 60, 70, 80, 90, even 100 on their first generation. And we're just a couple weeks old. Now, again, I don't know what that means down the road, but I got an idea. It's going to mean a lot of income to somebody for doing that, because here's what actually happens. So let's say, for example, let's start with the first column, 3. And again, I want this example to be based on the fact that no one ever gets more than 3 people. That's it, 3 people. So then you got 3 people that got 3, right? 3 TLAs. And remember, when I'm talking about TLA, I'm talking about somebody, in this example, is somebody that's also a customer and has 1 customer and gets 1 customer. And this is how all this income is being generated, right? Because it's all from the customers. But this is just talking about the number of TLAs as it starts to grow. So let's say that, for example, that it took 2 months to get your first. Now it takes 2 more months to get 9. It takes 2 more months, which is 6 months, to get your 27. Now it's 8 months to get 81. Now, again, let's stop here and stop right here. You're 8 months into the business. You're down 4 generations. And at that point in time, you're basically, every one of these this represents, just kind of look at it as each number represents, you know, $1. So you got 3, you got $3. You got 81, you got $81, right? Well, a lot of people go, well, that's not very much money. I'm only making this much, and I've been in this thing for 8 months. Guess what? If you've done this work right here, the rest automatically happens because you've already done the work. And again, this is based on no one ever getting more than 3, guys. Never any more than 3. So now look what happens by the time you get to that 10th generation 20 months down the road. And that's what I really want everybody to kind of understand about this business. If you're looking at this as, I got to have the money in the first couple months, you're in the wrong business. This is based on you doing something and just continue to be consistent. And it's very simple to do, share the gift. And I'm going to talk about that, and I'm going to talk about creative wealth in a moment. And just letting time and numbers take care of themselves. You don't have to worry about it. They'll take care of themselves. The only thing that you can really affect is what you do yourself. So now this next column is based on, no, you didn't get 3, you went out and got 10. But again, we're going to show everybody else only getting 3, right? Because you got 10, they each got 3, now you've got what, 30. Next one's, those 30 each got 3, you got 90. Now you see the difference in the numbers though after, you know, just a few generations here. Look at this. By your, you know, 5th generation, you're 10 months into the business. Now instead of getting 3, you got 10, but everybody else only got 3. But look at the difference. Instead of 243 people on that 5th generation, you got 810. Now look what continues to happen. And the numbers just keep growing and keep getting bigger. So here's the difference. The difference between you getting 3 and letting everybody else get 3, or you getting 10 and letting everybody else get 3, is the difference in number of TLAs, but it's also in dollars. And guys, again, remember, the minimum is going to be $1 per TLA, you know, because my guess is it's probably going to be closer to about $3. If it's $3, then you can take either side of these equation and multiply it times 3, because that's going to be more probably, I think, with the number of customers that people will have. But look at this difference. Now I'm going to go one more column. Instead of getting 10, you decided you really get busy and get 30. Look at the difference here as it starts to grow and mature. And the numbers start getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And this is, of course, by the 9th and 10th generation, it's crazy. So look at the difference. The only difference as far as everybody else did the same thing was what you did. So I always tell people, I say, look, it really depends on what you want out of life. Yeah, you can go get 1, 2, or 3 people, and you'll probably do pretty well with this business. And it doesn't matter the time frame you do it in. It can take longer than the 2 months to get your first 3. You can do whatever you want, as long as you do something and you get out there and make it happen. But what if you just take the attitude, you know what? Numbers don't lie. I'll go out and I'll do what I need to do. Because this is the easiest business I'm ever going to have in my life. I don't have to sell anything. I'm just going to share the gift, ask them to say no. If they say no, I make money. If they say yes, I make money. If they become a customer, I make money. I don't really care what happens. I don't. Look at the difference, though, based on what your personal efforts are. And if you get this and you kind of look at this, and I would put this on a visualization board if I were you, and just say, where am I? Where would I like to be in 20 months? You know, what income level I'd be at? I mean, most people would take, you know, column 1 there. They'd be, okay, I'd be all right with that for a month. That would be a great income, and it would be. But look what you could do with a little more effort, a little more work. And of course, those of you that really look at this and go, well, this is crazy because this is only based on 10 generations. This is only based on, of course, there's no diamond rankings in here. I mean, you start adding those things in, and it gets silly. So guys, I just want you to take this and use this thing to help you grow your business. And with that, what I'm going to do is I got to go back now. I'm going to get into something else here. I love this business. I really do. This is the funnest thing I've ever done in my life. I enjoy it because it's so simple and so easy. And I really believe everybody in America can do this. I'm actually, you know, I've had a couple people, you know, like I started sharing it and stuff. I've had a couple people have actually accepted the card. And I mean, I don't care. That's fine. But I really, when I walk away from them, they accept the card, I'm thinking, wow, what is their thought process that they can't believe that they're entitled to have success in life. It's almost like what they're saying. They're saying, oh, no, that can't happen to me. I refuse to let that happen to me. So the only way I can make sure it doesn't happen to me is I'm just not going to do this. It can't be anything else because there can't be any fear involved because they don't have to do anything. I mean, anybody can paste a link and send it to somebody. Anybody can take, for example, the marketing card we're coming out with and hand it to somebody and just say, hey, you know, go watch this. And if you can, it's called The Gift. Go watch this. And if you can tell me no, I'll give you $1,000 gift card for telling me no. I mean, it can't get any easier, can it? And so I'm amazed sometimes when somebody says, I'll just take the card. I'm going, okay. But what I want to share with you guys, because you're here and you've got a different mindset. But I will tell you this for a fact. Nothing's going to happen unless you go to work. I mean, you have to go to work. It's like anything in life. If you don't get serious and go to work, nothing good comes out of it, right? But I'm going to give you some tips every week that I promise you, if you will take these and put them to use, you're going to have amazing success. So tonight, what I'm going to share with you is something that I've kind of talked about before, but I think it's kind of something that it's like the first step in being successful. And the first step is, if you knew for a fact that if you just did this one thing, that everything else in your life would be either easy or not even necessary, would you do it? You know, Keller Williams wrote his book on that, called The One Thing. And that was his whole thing. Would you do it? And most people say, well, of course I would. Well, guess what? Ladies and gentlemen, creating wealth, tip number 2 is just that simple. And this is going to be so essential if you want to actually make a change in your financial life and you want your life to be what you really want it to be. So tip number 2 is, write this down. It's been recorded. Give the gift away every day so that everything else is either easy or unnecessary. Repeat that again. Give the gift away every day so that everything else is easy or unnecessary. Give the gift away every day so that everything else is easy or unnecessary. Think about that. If you get up in the morning and you'll say that to yourself, you'll be surprised what happens. You're actually setting a habit in motion that says, look, I'm going to do the one thing that can change my life. Remember the income expectation chart we just talked about? Well, all those numbers become very real if you do this. Now, if you don't do this, they're just there's just numbers on a piece of paper. They don't mean anything. But if you do what I'm talking about, those numbers will appear and those incomes will appear for you. And all you have to do is create that habit every morning you get up, say, I'm going to give the gift away today so that everything else is either easy or unnecessary. And what that means is, think about it. If you give the gift away and people start building and they start growing and these numbers start growing and they start doing the same thing, and all of a sudden you got this huge income that you've got coming in. And for the first time in your life, you don't have to worry about, making the house payment or the car payment or paying the bills or anything else, because guess what? Everything's either become easy or unnecessary. Because maybe you don't even have to have a car payment. Maybe you're making so much, you just go out and say, that's the car I want. I'm going to pay cash for it. I've been blessed to be able to do that my whole life. But because I've always had these things that I work with. And, I always look at myself and say, I'm the most average person you could ever meet. I was a C student in college, guys. I wasn't a rocket scientist. I just was scraping by. But the one thing that was different for me and all the kids that I looked around was that I actually believed in my mind that I was going to be a millionaire. I had no doubt that I was going to be a millionaire. Everybody else was thinking about, I'm going to go to school, I'm going to get my education. I couldn't get this great job. I'm going to get a job, and it's going to pay me so much per hour. And they haven't thought ahead, but in 10 years, I'll probably be making just a little bit more. I'll still be doing that job. I didn't. I said, you know what? I want a different life. So at 16 years of age, and I think I might have shared it with some of you, I was at my uncle's home, and he became my mentor. And he had the most beautiful home I've ever seen. It was like a mansion. It's like the White House sitting up there on a hill in Richmond, Virginia. And I go to his home, and I'm walking around saying, wow, this would be unbelievable. And he looked at me and he said, Mark, you can have all this. I said, what are you talking about? I was 16 years old. He said, you can have everything I have and a lot more. He said, here, let me give you something. Of course, he gave me the book, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. I took that book home and I read it from cover to cover, and it just lit me up. I just said, wow, I don't have to be a loser. I don't have to be a nobody. I can do anything I want in life. So at the age of 16, I started telling all my buddies after I read the book, I'll be a millionaire by the time I'm age 21. And I kept telling everybody that. And everybody was laughing at me. Yeah, oh, Seaforth's going to be a millionaire by the time he's age 21. One of the funnest things I did was when I came back to my high school reunion. It was like 10 years later. By the way, I became a millionaire, but I think I was 23 or 24. But I came back to my high school reunion, and I'll never forget it because I came back on my own private jet. And I'd become a multi-millionaire. And I realized, I said, I think looking around, looking at all the people I went to school with and thinking, why? They could have done the same thing. It's just they didn't have the belief. So I started looking at things like this, like I'm sharing with you tonight, guys. This is one of the best tips I'll ever probably give you. If you will take this one little thing and just say, look, I'm going to give the gift away every day so that everything else is easier and unnecessary. By the way, what I'm telling you, I do myself. I mean, my wife and I are doing the same thing. I said, baby, we don't have to do it 20 times a day. Just once a day. Just once a day, I'm going to make sure I give the gift away. I met my one today. I went past that a little bit. And I don't really care because it's easy. All I'm doing is I'm either sending out a text message or a link to go look at it, or I'm calling a buddy on the phone and saying, hey, have you heard of the gift course? Not, hey, I tell you what, take a look at this. If you can tell me no, I'll give you $1,000 gift card for telling me no. Okay, great. Or I'm, handing somebody a card and saying, hey, go take a look at this. Now, you guys, if you haven't got your cards printed up, you can print them up. But by the way, we're going to have our cards ready for that beautiful marketing card I've been talking about. It will be available, and probably next week we'll probably be able to start taking orders on those. We'll have the prices in your back office. You can start ordering them. They're amazing. They're like 3D. They're gold foil. The key on the card says unlock the gift is all in gold foil and raised. So is unlock the gift. I mean, it's an amazing card. It's like 3 times the thickness of a business card. So on the back side, it has your website and your code on there. So all you have to do is hand somebody that after you've asked them about the gift, hand them the card. They're going to go on. They're not going to throw the card away because it's an amazing thing. And they're going to say, I don't know what this is, but it's pretty impressive. I guess I better check it out. So that'll be available. It's going to be a great marketing tool for you. But again, all you got to do is share it. If you don't share it, nothing happens. And so I'm going to close with just a little simple story about the tortoise and the hare. Probably a few of you heard me talk about the tortoise and the hare before. But it is a great story, right? And everybody knows what it is, about the race, right? The tortoise and the hare. What happens? We all know what happens. The tortoise talks off and he's just boom, 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 riding along slowly, head down, going straight ahead, kind of like every day give the gift away. 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 The hare is like, wow, takes off with a burst, racing, but then he gets sidetracked because he sees there's some carrots over there. I'm going to chase those carrots. Oh, there's a buddy of mine. I'm going to run around with him for a little while. They're all over the place. They're doing everything but the work that needs to be done because they don't have a vision for where they want to be. They don't have a finish line. They're there. Oh, I forgot about the gift. Well, I'll think about it next month. And guess what? Next month comes, nothing's happened, nothing's been built. The tortoise, on the other hand, give the gift away, give the gift away, give the gift away. And he's just getting one TLA after another TLA after another TLA. And then all of a sudden, a month or two goes by, and he's got duplication, he's got growth, and all of a sudden he's got 100 TLAs, and he's got 1,000, he's got 10,000, he's got 100,000. And the hare is still running all over the place and never crosses the finish line, ends up with nothing. So you have to decide in life what you want to be. I've always liked being the tortoise. Keep it simple for me. I'll just do the little things and let everything else. Then you don't have to worry. See, the beauty of it, when you do something and you make it a habit, everything else falls in place. Everything else does become easy or unnecessary. So guys, life is a marathon, not a sprint. Consistency always wins. And if you want wealth, it's easy. Give the gift away every day so that everything else is easy or unnecessary. Thank you. See you next week. Good night.